Hey guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make deep minimal house using a sample pack. So to go along with this video, I've just dropped a new sample pack called the Definitive Deep Minimal House Drums Volume 1, made by me. And what we've got in here, as you can see, we have 20 claps, 20 cymbals, 20 hi-hats, 20 kicks, 20 percussions, and 20 snares. And my goal with this was to create the ultimate sample pack for the style. You know, I wanted to make something where every single sound was really good and every single sound was really powerful and hard hitting and would work really well in these style of tracks. You can hear like all of these kicks are really solid, all the hi-hats are really solid. And yeah, again, I was just trying to create like the perfect sort of sample pack to just dive in and start making these tracks. I think a lot of times it can be hard to make these tracks when you're just going around and grabbing stuff from all different sample packs, and you know, you're trying to grab a 909 kick here and a clap and like, you know, process them to sound really good in the style. But with this pack, all you got to do is just drag these in, and they're all really fire already, you know, a little bit of processing, and you're good to go. And also with this pack, you get 10 bonus bass lines. You can see each of the bass lines are in MIDI and audio format. And yeah, all of that is in the description for just $15 on my Bandcamp, so go check that out. And we're going to be using the pack to make a track today, and I'll show you how I go from a blank project file like this to a nice little track in this style using samples. So we're going to start here. I'm going to get rid of these. And I'm going to start with a kick. This is what I usually start my tracks with. Let's get that one. We'll just take it, and we can put in some quarter notes. And then let's also take the BPM up to 127. Cool, there we go. So from there, I'll make a nice bass line. What we're going to do is I'm going to use one of these. Yeah, let's just take that one and we'll drag it in here. You know, they groove nicely together. And this is how I always like to start my tracks. You know, if you start with a kick and bass line, it's very simple because you're starting from like the most foundational elements and working your way up. You know, it's like if you try to just throw in a hi-hat and a bunch of claps and a bunch of stuff like that at this stage, it's going to be kind of confusing and you're going to end up having a bit of a hard time because it's like, again, you really need to set up the foundation of your track first and then build on top of that. So we're starting from the most basic elements. I'll take the kick and put a little bit of saturation on there. There we go. And we'll also saturate the bass a little. And then I'm going to sidechain that to the kick a little bit. You can hear not a whole lot, but it just kind of makes these fit together a little bit more. And then from there, we can take these and we'll put them in a group with just a little bit of saturation. And there we go. So now we've gone from the sample pack to something that sounds really professional and full, and the foundation of our track is set. Let's name this Rau Enzo. Cool. From there, we can start adding in the percussion. I usually like to kind of work my way up with that in the same way I did with this. So what that means is like I'll start usually with like the main open hi-hat on the upbeats. Like we can take this one and we'll shorten it a bit. There we go. Get one of those sharper sort of hi-hats like you hear in the style a lot. And then we can just take that and duplicate it over a whole bunch of times. Cool, and then after that, I usually go for the clap. Let's use this one. That's pretty fat and punchy. And again, you can see like the workflow working with this pack. It's not like you're sitting here, you know, messing around trying to find the perfect sound. All of these sounds are going to work really well together. They're all really powerful and hard hitting. So it's just about, you know, kind of getting them together in the way you want. It makes it a bit easier, again, to not have to just sit here and go through like a bunch of sample packs. You know, I feel like a lot of sample packs, they have maybe like 4 or 5 good sounds, and then everything else you just never end up using. But with this pack, you could literally make 20 tracks using each of the 20 samples of each different type of thing we have here. Cool, and then we'll throw those in a group together. A bit of drum bus. Nice one. And then I'm going to layer up the main hi-hat a little bit. We're going to get maybe something like this. There we go, because now you can hear we've got the softness of this hi-hat, but then we get the impact from that one. And when you put those together, it's very powerful. Nice, then we'll just high pass that hi-hat. Cool, and then from here we can start to add in the other stuff, you know. Usually I'll go and get like a crash, I think would sound pretty cool here. Let's take that one. I'll high pass it a bit. Nice one. And then with this, what we're going to do is we're just going to put it in like... every 2 bars or so, it's just going to... And now it's starting to get filled out a bit, you know? Maybe we can add some more hi-hats. Maybe we'll use like this one, and we can just do some straight 16th notes. Alright, that's cool. And then let's shorten this a little bit. Nice, now we have the track starting to come together. Now we can get some more like percussion and kind of extra background elements in here. You know, I could go and maybe grab like one of these percussions that I have. I'll grab a few of them actually. Like we'll grab that one. Get that one. And then we'll get that one, and let's get one more. That one, cool. So now we can just kind of pepper these into the beat a little bit and make the whole thing kind of flow together a little bit more. You know, this percussion is what gives it the character, because like anybody can make with a bass line under it. When you start to add in your percussion and start to kind of do that your own way, that's where it really gives you like your own flavor, you know? Let's put these on trigger mode so that we're on gate mode. Yeah, like that. And then we'll duplicate those. Those will be the ones that just keep going the whole time. And then maybe we could do this one at the end. Yeah, that sounds cool. And then let's just make that a little 2-bar loop there. High pass those a little bit. I'll usually give them a little bit of their own saturation as well. This helps to kind of glue them together. You know, when you're working with sample packs like this, it's all about just getting sounds that like already fit together pretty well, and then you just use a little bit of processing to kind of glue them together a bit more, because what's happening here is like when we put the saturation on the percussion group, for example, like with that drum bus, we're basically just adding kind of like this texture on top of everything. And when you put everything through that same texture, it's the same deal with the saturation on the percussion or the saturation on the low end. It's going to glue everything together a bit more and really kind of make it like a bit more cohesive, as you can hear. But cool, sounds good. Now we'll do a little bit of mixing on the percussion bus. I'll take an EQ8 and cut out some low end. You always like to do this so it doesn't get in the way of the kick and the bass. And then we'll also do a little high end boost because you can see the high end sort of jumps off there. So you just do a little bit of a boost, and there we go. Nice. And then another thing that I'll do here is I'm going to put a little bit of reverb on the percussion bus, because if you think about like live drums, right? Like whenever you hear a live drum kit, you're always going to hear it all in the same room, meaning everything is getting that same kind of reverb to it and that same space to it. And this is what makes a drum kit sound like it all fits together and make it all sound like it's, one thing as opposed to just a bunch of different sounds pulled from here and there. So we can recreate this in the computer really easily, just using a little bit of reverb. I've done this in quite a few other videos, but if we just get a reverb here, I usually put it for drum bus and the EQ. And we just put the dry wet down to maybe like 10%. Everything kind of has like a similar space to it. And then we can just kind of shorten the reverb. Like, you really don't want a whole lot, but it's just giving kind of like that little illusion that everything is in the same space. Without it. And then with it. So it's subtle, but now everything really feels like it's coming together and it's all in the same space. We can mix this a little bit. Turn everything down a little. And then we'll duplicate that. Nice. And then I think to finish this off, I'm just going to add one more little hi-hat here. Like, we'll use this one, and I'll shorten it a little. And this one's just going to play like a little kind of extra note here and there. Yeah, let's do it like that. And then we can just make that a one-bar loop and repeat it over. So this is just for the purpose of adding a little bit more depth to the percussion. With this style, I kind of look at it as like the percussion is the lead, right? Like, you don't really have like a big lead. Typically, if you have any synths that aren't just like low end or percussion, they're kind of just adding like a little stab or like maybe a small melody or something like that. But if you do like this and really kind of build up the percussion, you don't need a whole lot of melodic stuff. Like, that's how it works. So we have a lot of room to play around with this, and I think this just adds a little bit more depth. Cool, and there it is. We've gone from a blank project file to a nice little groove in the style, and that is how you do it. That's how you take a sample pack and make a track out of it. It's not hard, but I think with certain sample packs, it can be, because, everything just sounds like all from different places, and it can be a bit messy. But with this pack, you get a bunch of awesome sounds that are always going to fit together and going to work really well for the style. So that's me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the full sample pack. I'm also including this demo track. You can see there's the project file. You get the demo track, the sample pack, and the 10 bonus bass lines. So it's great value for just $15. Link to that is at the top of the description. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.